supposed to put the first 500 in the safe and lose the combination.
What is up guys? Welcome back to yet another video. Man, it's been a while we've done one of these. We're just gonna be going through a trade that I took on AUDJPY. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how I was able to catch this trade, and hopefully in seeing how I caught this trade you will learn a thing or two on how to analyze the chart. So without wasting any time, let's jump right into it. So the very first thing that I saw on this pair was that the price was actually moving in an uptrend. I always say on my channel that you want to focus on pairs or setups that are obvious. You don't want to find yourself stuck on a chart that is complicated and isn't really showing you what's going on the chart. You want to make sure that you look at setups that are clear and are obvious to the naked eye. And what I mean by that is that when we look at this chart, we can clearly see that price was moving in a nice uptrend, and it got to the zone right here, and we can clearly see that price was struggling to push above this zone, which is an indication that price actually wants to continue pushing to the upside. If this was going to be a downtrend, you would see that price would actually violate the structure right here, start forming a corrective move and start pushing to the upside. But we see that we are seeing an opposite of what happened there. Price did not do that. Instead, price came to the zone right here. It gave us a very big rejection. You can clearly see that there is a nice rejection right there, and price started pushing to the upside. But we're going to be focusing on what happened on this area right here. This nice big bullish candle is actually the move that I caught on this pair. But before we even get to that, I want us to move even a step further to see what has been happening. So overall, we have concluded that price could not cross above this area. It started pushing to the upside, but for me to know that price was going to continue pushing to the upside was when price actually broke this area right here. In most cases, you'd find that price comes to zones like these if it is a downtrend. Price would actually come to a zone like this and struggle to break above it and then start pushing to the upside. But in this instance, we see that price has crossed strongly above the zone with nice bullish candles. So price actually pushed all the way up and it was stuck on this candle right here. So this last candle that looks like a reverse hammer was where I actually found price. I know that a lot of people would actually look at this and think that this is a reversal because it looks like a reversal pin bar, but again, you have to understand in which context you are looking at a candle. What I mean by that is that if you are seeing a reversal pin bar in a bullish setup, it is not an indication that the market is going to go to the downside. Instead, this on a downtrend, you would see that the market has actually given you a corrective move like this. And what you will be doing from there is preparing your buys to push to the upside. So this is exactly what I saw on this chart. I saw that price was actually at a very low level. So meaning that we have something that looks like this. And when I look to my left, I could see that the market still has to get to this zone before it can reverse. So this gives us enough room to actually start pushing up to the very top right there. It is always wise to look to your left as a reference to know if you are in a good buy or you have actually run out of bullish moves. If it happened that price was actually slightly above this level right here, I would wait for it to actually push all the way to the upside before I can continue pushing with it. But since price still has to cover this level right here, I saw this as a great opportunity for me to start looking for buys. So like I said, on a smaller time frame, this gave me a corrective move, and when I look to my left, I could also see that price still has enough room to actually cover, and that's when I started preparing my buy setups to push with the market to the upside. When we go to the hour chart, I believe this is the setup that I saw. So price gave us this nice corrective move right here. And when I look to my left, I could see that there was enough room for us to cover. And that's when I took my buy. But specifically, when price actually broke above this zone right here, I always say that when you see a violation of structure, that is your indication that price is actually pushing to the upside. So price actually violated the structure, pushed to the upside. I looked for a corrective move that is set to retest my previous high. So when price actually pushed up like this, I drew this level and I was waiting for a nice corrective move. And when price came to these zones right here, that's when I actually took my buy and I was able to push with the market all the way to the upside, and I took my long position right here. So this was a beautiful trade, and I was able to actually catch this move. I think as soon as the market started pushing up, I was able to lock my profits somewhere right here, and I let the market run while I locked my profits. So this is just how you need to start looking at the market to simplify everything for yourself. You want to make sure that you look for setups that are extremely obvious to the naked eye. You don't have to look deep to understand what the market is doing. The market has to just be obvious to the naked eye. And for you to know that this is actually an uptrend, in an uptrend, I want to focus on buys. I'm looking for price to retest this specific zone, and that's how I'm going to push with the market to the upside. I didn't want to make this a long video. I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this analysis. And if you are a beginner trader and you're really struggling with your analysis and you are clueless about how to analyze the chart and actually get to a point where you start becoming profitable within the market, I do suggest that you subscribe to this channel, because I do share a lot of free content where I guide you on how to analyze the charts and simplify everything for yourself. Remember, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You want to make sure that everything is simple. Whenever something becomes complicated, it becomes stressful, it becomes straining, and you do not enjoy what you're doing. But if you are able to simplify everything for yourself, you learn to love what you're doing, and you also start becoming profitable within the market. So do subscribe to this channel, leave a like, and stay tuned for more quality content. Peace.
Supposed to put the first 500 in the safe and lose the combination.